100%.
Don't you ever forget that. Now, being passionate about bringing the recognition back to the West Coast. Now, see, what Sallis broke down on the Clubhouse conversation was that when Pac died and Suge Knight shipped off and went to jail, the business infrastructure left. He kind of got into it a little bit, but let's dive deeper into it.
So what's the Pac dies? What 96?
96. Yeah.
Snoop leaves Death Row, goes to No Limit.
All South.
Yeah, Suge has some legal troubles and whatnot. He has to go sit down for a little while. The industry looked at what Death Row was and was like, yeah, we don't want that ever again. We don't want, and it was really about like Suge, right? It's like, we don't want that ever again. He was running amok. It was like a loose pit bull in these buildings, right? You know what I'm saying? Just running absolutely amok. So like, we don't want that, because the thing about LA, which is different than the rest of the country when it comes to street stuff, is our street stuff is still tied to like gangs, right? It's not just pure street stuff. And so, there's this gang mentality and whatnot, and it was just too real. People love gangster rap music, but gangsterism is just too real, right? And there was just too much of that. So anyway, when that all went down, the industry was like, yeah, we're cool on that. And being that that's what we were known for, even though we always had other talents in LA, that's what we were known for, they stopped signing artists, right? This is what people don't understand about the music business, right? Because people don't go to college to be in the music business. The music business is like the one industry where like education is not needed to be
Does
in.
not matter.
It's about who you know, right? It's purely nepotism. Well, from the very beginning, right? So when rap started in New York and whatnot, and has been successful in other parts of the country, when an artist gets signed, right? There's always some homies around. So you sign this artist and whatnot, and then one of the homies becomes like a manager. So okay, you're my manager, right? And then another homie is like, oh, you help me with putting my records together. Like, okay, you like my A&R and whatnot, right? And then if that artist has success, what labels do is like, oh, you're successful. These are people that are around you that helped you be successful. Okay, we want to hire them, and we'll give them jobs and whatnot. And that's what typically has always happened, right? A lot of people that are, that have had success in the business started off with a very talented artist and whatnot, and because of the success of that artist, they then got to be signed and whatnot. I mean, not signed, but get jobs and things like that, right? So that's how you populate the industry of professionals. Well, when you stop signing LA artists, you also stop getting those professionals from LA.
Makes sense.
Right? So we had 10 years, whatever, not signing anybody, 10, 15 years, not signing anybody out of LA and whatnot. Well, that's a generation that's lost. So now there's no one in these buildings that's from LA. So when the New West starts coming in the early 2000s and whatnot, and they're making some noise in the city and whatnot, who can sign them and market them? There's no one in these buildings that's from here that understands what they're doing,
right?
And could help them, make it make more sense to what they were doing. They were just trying to figure it out. Right. No guidance, no support, nothing like that. And we just didn't have these professionals. And so, when people talk about, the South and the success of the South, and everyone says the reason why the South is so successful and Atlanta's so successful is all the artists fuck with each other. That's not the case. A lot of those artists actually don't like each other and whatnot. But generationally speaking, they've all had, the managers all fucked with each other. The A&Rs who were fucked with each other. And so the infrastructure of the business, the network was there. They fucked with each other. Artists come and go.
Right. The
infrastructure stays the same, right? And so you start seeing, people who they started off managing this person, and they managed that person, and they managed that person, and then their little homie or their person below them is on A&R here, and then they got, now they're the senior vice president of this, and they're running this label, and they're the president. And Atlanta has been able to have a continuous string.
That's great.
Of that, right?
Yeah.
Which is great. They have this, continuous string. So that's why the sound of the music has changed from like, snap, crunk, trap,
right.
Outkast, what Outkast was doing, like, because you have to remember, like, when L.A. Reid and Babyface, went down there and did Hitco and whatnot, that was the beginning of building that infrastructure. And so they just kept, just increasing that infrastructure and whatnot, and the sound of the music keeps changing and whatnot. Well, in LA, we didn't have that, right? And the generation that we were missing was literally my generation, like people my age not having the opportunity to be in the label system. I didn't have an opportunity to be in the label system and whatnot. So when you would see an artist that you'd be like, oh, they got it, they're the next such and such, you couldn't reach out and sign them and then tell the label, this is how we're gonna market them, right? And so we didn't have that. So now that LA is really, there's a light being shown on LA, which is great artistically, right? We still struggle in certain areas. We struggle, at radio. We struggle at DSP. We struggle getting the right publicity and things like that.
Right, yeah.
Because we don't have people on the infrastructure on the back end. So me and Head spend a lot of time with artists, at least helping them with their music and whatnot. But in the last couple of years, I've really been investing in helping the new generation of future executives. You know what I'm saying? Current, people that are current managers, people who are, entry, level A&Rs now that are from LA, like, how can I help you? Publicists, I have friends that are publicists. How can I help you? I need you to be successful in this building.
Right, yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I need you to be successful. So what can I do to help you? What do you need from, and that's where the passion really comes. It's about the infrastructure of LA. Because everybody wants the culture of LA.
Right, exactly.
They've always wanted the culture of LA. But no one wants to invest in the culture of LA. And they never want it from LA people. You know what I'm saying? So people come here, get a surface level experience of some LA shit. It's like, but never get to the real root and the nitty gritty of some LA shit and whatnot. And then they try to take our sauce and whatnot. It's like, they shoot their videos here, they record their albums here, all the award shows are here. You know what I'm saying? Their photo shoot, we're gonna do everything here, but we're not gonna do it with any LA people.
Yeah, that's different.
Woo!
Now,
that rubs me the wrong way.
Yeah.